Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another beautiful day with us on Live with Lloyd. I am your host, astronumerologist Lloyd Strayhorn. As you know, excuse me, this is the last Wednesday of this month of October, forever and a day in this 21st century of 2024. Tomorrow's Halloween. Friday is All Saints Day, I do believe, November 1st. It will also be a new moon day as well. So anyway, as you see, I have my wonderful guest on, Cali, uh, Lyrical Cali, Earth to Lyric. So this is how her title is now, but she will be with us in just a moment. But before I do that, I got to bring on my sponsors, which is Nicholas Brooklyn. I was there this past Sunday. It was just really really nice. That's my favorite store. I kid you not. You got to go there to believe it. I mean, don't take my word for it. You get yourself there too. And also, I had the pleasure of meeting there in Peru. He is a master of the precious metals. He's going to be there on November the 9th, but he happened to have been there this Sunday, which was good. Also, show is also brought to you by Miss Kimberly, KIMBALEY.com, or go to her YouTube channel where we recorded the November forecast that will be out on Friday at about 7:15 p.m. But that's KIMBALEY underscore on YouTube. That's her YouTube channel. So please join us. Then also, our sponsor is also Intellectual Powers, Rizza Islam's health product. Just click on the QR code and you will get a discount if you say numbers. And also, my sponsor is Eric Taylor, a dynamic astrologer. In fact, I was a guest on his show yesterday. We had a lot of fun talking about the presidential election. No, we didn't make a prediction. We just talked about the conditions of the elections and where their moon and ascendant. They have a lot more in common than you know. Believe it or not, both air signs, both their moon is in the element of fire. They're both full moon children, which means she's a Libra with an Aries moon. He's a Gemini with a Sagittarius moon, which is the full moon in astrology. Okay. So that was interesting. But anyway, it is brought to you by bigeastrology.com. Please go there. Please get your readings. They're going to be on sale. Also for the forecast for today. All right, let's get this straight. Now, it is Wednesday. I think I got everything right this time. By the way, I do not solicit you for money. Evidently, about a week or two ago, somebody was pretending to be me to want to get some money. I don't do that. I don't solicit people. People have more called me than I do them. So if somebody's calling in my name, understand, for those regulars, I do not ever DM you for money. So if it's hi love, I don't talk like that to people. You got to be really, really extra, extra, super special for me to call you love. Okay. It ain't like that. That's kind of like informal. It's kind of personal. And that is not the way I am in my professional career. But the sun is in Scorpio. The moon is in Libra. But at 1:29 tomorrow, it will enter the sign of Scorpio. And then on November the 1st, it will be a full moon day, I think in the evening. But it is a 9 universal day, a 4 universal week, a 3 universal day. And so for Sagittarius and Pisces, this is their time. And for those that are born on the 3rd, 12th, 21st, and 30th of the month. All right. I think now that we got that straight, let me do, let me see. The one thing about live shows, they're live. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to let me do this. Okay. Let me do this. Hold it. Where am I? Okay. Yeah, that's me.
Hey.
Where the world am I at? Where did I go? That's interesting. Hi, Callie. How are you?
Hey, how are you?
Fine. I'll feel much better once I find out where I went.
We're gonna meet you there wherever you are.
Yeah, I was just there. That's weird. That's kind of weird. No, if I
Oh, you guys. Oh, it's, it's the
Uh,
lyrics.
yeah, that's now this is strange. I don't know why that is. This is a first. And we were seeing each other just before you came on.
We
So
were, but
huh?
I was having some technical difficulties on my end as well. So that's
Mercury's
interesting.
not even retrograde yet. So
It's not.
um that's interesting. Well, we're gonna have to talk a little bit. I'm gonna have to be in the shadows till I figure this out. And
Okay.
all the emphasis will be on you. But anyway, uh, hit your camera option. Where's my camera? Oh, thank you.
There we go. There we go.
Whoever that was, 267, whatever number that was. Thank you, Melinda. Thank you.
That was
Thank you.
amazing. Thank you, Melinda.
Thank
That
you,
was
Melinda.
amazing.
Man, I just saw myself not too long ago. Okay.
It happens to us all. It happens to us all.
Yeah, well, listen, one time the lights went out, the electricity went out, the computer went out. It was like, but that's the beauty of live versus prefab stuff. I always like it authentic. So anyway, this way I have an authentic show. But
Yeah.
everybody, welcome, welcome. Thank you very much. As you see, I have Cali on. And believe it or not, how I met Cali was I saw her on Instagram.
Mhm.
There's a lot of the guests have on. I will either see them somewhere, I've either read them as a client or something like that. Then I'll finally ask what did they do. But I was so struck with her. I said, "Would you want to come on the show?" And to her good credit, the answer was yes. And we've been tight ever since then. How's the young man? How's your husband? Your wonderful Gemini husband?
Everything is great. He is my mirror for sure. And I always say when people ask me about how we're doing, I always say my husband is the sun, I am the moon, and our son is the star. So uh,
I say on
everything,
that one. Good
yeah,
answer.
everything just keeps going and keeps flowing.
Now, what we're going to do is we're going to do some readings today. Am I correct?
Yes. Yes, we're doing some readings today. I'm super, super excited because there's a lot of different energy happening, with the moon, with Scorpio season. And if I could talk a little bit about that before we get into the readings,
Yeah,
because
because there was one person here, Marie, who was born January the 21st. She was the first one out the gate, so we're gonna make sure we do that. So please,
okay.
continue, please.
Absolutely. So yeah, I just wanted to inform everybody about the new moon that's going to be peaking on the 1st. And you're absolutely right, Lloyd. It is going to be All Souls Day. Another day to keep in mind is Dia de los Muertos, which is the Day of the Dead. You know, uh, Now it's only seen as like a custom that's practiced within the Mexican community or the Mexican culture, but it is an indigenous celebration. It's an ancestor veneration celebration, and they're happening all over the world, not just in Mexico. So I would really advise that, everyone here in the family do something special for their ancestors and also be prepared. The reason why ancestor veneration is celebrated at this point is because this is the point in the United States or North America where things begin to get cold and the energy becomes dormant and goes into the earth. So essentially, it seems as if the earth is dying, right? So it's like a
Hmm.
death season.
Hmm.
Also, we see a hike in actual deaths for many reasons, but it's just a season of endings. So there can be repossessions, there can be foreclosures, evictions, there can be job losses, there can be, like I said, actual losses. But it's nothing to fear because usually when things end, or always when things end, other things have to begin. And it's my theory that this is why the people who created Christmas, because if you dig deep into Christianity, you find out that Christmas is not exactly what we celebrate. But I think the placement of it was literally just to give people a relief from the death season, and for it to be associated with the resurrection, of Christ, or of a savior. But it's very, very interesting how the two are aligned. So I'm very excited about that. And that's the reason why I wanted to do some readings today, just to provide, counsel for the community and for the family here today. And I love the community that you've created here. They've always been amazing. And I'm just super excited to get started.
All right. Last time you had a red dress, now you have a red wrap. At least you're consistent with your colors. You go.
Well, I had to keep it cute, Lloyd, because I was on a show on Monday, and you had called me the lady in red. So I'm like, okay, well, I gotta make sure I show up, because now I've been branded as the lady in red, so I have to be consistent with the people.
You are such a woman, honey. I'm not gonna mess with it, okay? I'm not gonna
Thank
mess
you.
with it. So it's
Thank you.
interesting you're saying that for each and every one of us, to a greater or lesser degree in our own way, should take time. When does it start? Tomorrow on Halloween,
So
or actually November the 1st?
So it's actually like it's actually an 8-day celebration similar to
Uh-huh.
Kwanzaa, which I just learned that there's but the peak of the celebration is November 2nd. But people don't have to be specific as far as the dates.
Hmm.
It's just a great time, like I said, to give offerings. One of the offerings I do, I have an ancestor altar. I actually fed my ancestors, which is more of an African custom, but I made them a full plate, neck bones, collard greens, and I put it on my altar. And then after I took it off, maybe it was there for like a day, and then I gave the food as an offering. I put it outside, amongst the trees and the earth and stuff like that. So if people want to try things like that, it's great. And what it does is it's basically giving thanks to your ancestors and giving thanks to the people that came before you, and then also making a path to those who may be transitioning. You know what I mean? But it's a wonderful, wonderful experience, and it's something that I've done for many, many years. I just didn't know that there was a name for it, and I didn't know that it was a custom that was practiced all over the world in many different cultures, within the Asian culture, within the, like I said, the Latino culture.
Yeah, there are things that are just universal, regardless.
It's universal.
We call it a different name, but in essence, it's the same.
It's all the same. It's
So
all the
now,
same.
for persons who don't want to cook or prepare a meal such as you
Mhm,
did, could they do
mhm.
something as simple as light a candle? Or
Yes.
if they here in New York they have the botanicas, all right?
Hmm.
So they have
Hmm.
glass candles, different colors and stuff like that. So, or
Yep.
do they just get a little white candle? I was so sometimes
Exactly.
get a white
Just like
candle.
this. Just
Yeah,
like,
there you go.
yeah. Just like this one. Go ahead and light it, and you can say a prayer. You can say a scripture. Just anything. Or if you're a Muslim, you can read out of the Quran. It's you can make it your own. And that was a conversation I was having with somebody today about just, taking different things and making it your own, not always necessarily having to follow, what everybody else is doing. Like, because when I first
Mhm.
heard somebody say, oh, yeah, I feed my ancestors, I'm like, why? For what? Like, what? They can't eat. And then
Yeah,
once
yeah.
I got deeper into my understanding, and especially when I started fasting, you never know how wonderful food is until you start fasting. And I was like, okay, I understand now that it's more, food is a life force. You know what I
Now,
mean?
tell me your experience about fasting, just to get off topic, because I think a lot of it, other than detoxing, I had somebody on Monday talking about detoxing.
Hmm.
But isn't fasting somewhat a way of abstinence, so to speak, fasting?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's all it is abstinence. So now the fast that I'm participating in is, so I don't eat at all while the sun is out. And then when the sun is down, I don't eat any more than 2 meals. And the reason
That's
why I
somewhat like
did it.
Ramadan.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. That's one of the reasons why I did it, because I really do appreciate the discipline that comes out of Islam. And I was trying to figure out what made those people so disciplined. And, I talked to some people within the Muslim community, and they told me fasting and prayer. That's, what brought about the discipline. So I was like, okay, great. So I can do the fasting. It's sometimes I'm still trying to figure out how to slow down my day every day, to sit down and make a set time to pray, several times a day.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
fasting is what came the easiest to me, And so it's been a great experience. It really clears the conscience, and it also helps any ailments. Like recently I had an infection, and
Mhm.
I was able to use herbs and different supplements and things like that to help to clear it out. But the biggest thing, the reason why I think the infection was able to go away and able to really leave my body, was because I was fasting. And a lot of people naturally, when they get sick, they usually don't want to eat, right? Like our bodies don't want to eat. And I think it's one of the best tools for healing. And it's also, we're just gonna keep it real, it's a great like thing to use for weight management. A lot of people don't understand is that the only two things that you need to lose weight are free: walking and fasting. That's all you have to do. You don't have to go to the gym. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars on meal prep, or low calorie meals and all of that. Just literally selecting a time that you don't eat, or selecting a type of food that you don't eat for a certain amount of time. It is enough for you to develop discipline to be like, you know what? I'm not going to eat that sakatumi cake today. I'm not going to eat that today. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go out. I'm going to walk. I'm going to sun gaze, get some good sun. And I'm just going to enjoy, and I'll eat dinner, and then I'll eat dinner. You know what I
They
mean? But
made food now to be very addictive rather than nutritional.
exactly, exactly. And that's another thing that I realized when I first started fasting. I was really craving food based on the flavor, and not
Yes, yes,
necessarily, you know,
exactly. The
yeah, based on
nutritional
the
part of it.
hmm yeah. But yeah, it's been amazing, and thank you so much for asking. And I've been a better spiritual advisor as I've been fasting as well. So
Interesting. That
yeah.
now that kind of makes sense to me. It kind of clears up things, right?
Exactly, exactly, exactly. It just clears your mind of just everything when you're hungry. But we've all heard the expression, oh, she's hungry. Oh, he's hungry. They're hungry. Like they're working hard. They're ambitious. They have drive. Mm-mm-mm. Literally, let's try to be hungry for a few hours and then see how it changes our patterns and see how it changes our thinking, and that's what I've been doing. And it's been amazing. It's been amazing. My husband don't like it. But it'll
Well,
be all right.
we guys are on a different mission sometimes. So I've met your husband, so
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
understand.
he doesn't like it. He's a chef, so he's like, "What do you mean
Oh well, no
you
wonder.
didn't?"
No
Yeah,
wonder.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He's a chef,
Gotta
so he's
cook
like,
all the time.
yeah, he thinks I'm he doesn't like it at all. He's like, "What are you talking? You have to eat. You can't not eat. I'm cooking for people all the time, and I come home and you haven't eaten." And I'm like, like I'll
Does your
eat.
husband cook for you too? Does he cook for you and the family?
Yes, yes. We actually be having like, little competitions. Just the other day, like when we had a family potluck. Last time he made a dish, and then I made the same dish the other day, and brought it, and didn't let nobody know that it was mine. And I just wanted to see, the natural organic reaction. But his cooking is always better than mine. But it's pulling me up though. It's
Yeah,
pulling me
but
up.
excuse me, you did say he's a chef, didn't you?
He
Huh?
is a chef.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
expect them to have a little edge over you on
Yeah.
some things, okay?
Yes, I cannot compete, but I definitely do try, and it just makes it very, great for the family, and everybody. Well, who made this, and how'd you make that, and would you, and so it's just great, especially since we try not to use a lot of salt and sugar and things like that. It's a wonderful experience.
Well, good, and it helped you all around too, I would imagine.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah, for
Now,
sure.
when we read people the last time, what did you use? Cards or what did you use?
Yes, yes, yes.
Accepting the
So I,
spirit and stuff?
yeah, yeah. So I
I
have some
went through
cards. I'm
when
gonna
you
move my
explain
camera.
everything, but is there everything you've explained that you wanted to, or is there some more pointers that we need to
Yeah,
know before we go?
yeah, no, it's great. We can go ahead and get started. I'm excited. I've been preparing for this for a few days. So I'm gonna move my camera so that they can see my altar where I do my readings.
Please
And
do.
yeah, okay. So let me
Yeah.
just move it.
Okay.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm gonna get a full screen.
Okay, great, 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 great,
Well,
great.
that's nice.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay,
And that's where you
perfect.
put your cards at right there?
Yes, this is where I put my cards.
All right. All right. Okay. We got
Right?
it up close and personal. So
Yes.
go to double screen a second. Now, I guess what we'll do is they're going to get a 2-for-1. I'm going to
Okay,
read them
perfect.
just briefly, but
Mm-hmm.
you read them primarily. Okay. Because you're
Perfect.
the guest. Okay. So
Okay,
we're going to
great.
start with the very first person, which is Marie. She typed in at 6:30. She says, "There's no excuse not to
Mm-hmm.
be read. I feel you." And she is born on January the 21st, which makes her an Aquarius. So she's an air sign with a fire number. And it tells me that the year she's entering into will be a year where it's about laying the foundation or the cornerstone or getting some things in order for you, Marie. The fact that you're young and old at the same time is interesting. The fact that you'll be going through what is called a four personal year, which is why I took the month, the day, added to the year 2025, because this year is practically over. But while you're still in this year, it simply means this is a year that's been probably very busy, very expansive. There've been some legal, semi-legal matters that was coming your way. Hopefully, it was resolved. This is also what months are left of it, or weeks, I should say. Now we're down about 6, 8 weeks. Indicates not to get caught up in people's gossips and scandals and stuff like that. So, with that said, now let me do this so we can see the full card. What do you say for her?
Perfect. Okay, great. So before, oh, look. Oh, okay. The card was hiding back there. Okay. So the first card we pulled out for her is the child card. Now, this card can literally represent an actual child, or it can just represent for fertility and growth and new things. You know what I mean? So if she's not expecting a child or doesn't want a child, it's best that she's very, 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 very careful with, her activities. I'll say that, and then we'll move on from there.
That's a nice way of putting it. That's
Okay, and then we also have this garden card. Now, this is a card that is dealing with abundance and basically like her really getting the fruits of her labor. Okay, and a lot of women don't know this, but sometimes, most of the times, when we have less stress as women and we have everything that it is that we need, we actually become more fertile, right? Because we
interesting.
have the things that we need, and we're well and good and all of that. So it's very, 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 very important that she is just aware of her fertile state, and it's not just in her body, it's within everything around her. So any new projects that she takes upon, any new adventure, any new job, anything like that is absolutely amazing for her, and now is the time to do it. Now we also have this anchor card, and this card literally represents things being pulled. Okay, so she could have some things weighing her down. It could be trauma, it could be bad friendships, bad partnerships. It could be anything like that. But she wants to make sure that she is releasing, and not holding on to things that no longer serve her, because it's going to affect how she, goes into her next season, and it's going to affect her fertility. So it's very, very important that she begin to just cut some people off. And this is a great time to do it. Scorpio season. You can blame it on Scorpio season. You know what I mean?
Well, we got another person here. Her name is Melanie Owens, and she says happy birthday to her because her birthday is mañana, tomorrow.
Yes. Happy
Says she's
birthday.
blessed to be here tonight. And happy birthday. We want to be the first Melanie Owens to wish you from the Live with Lloyd family happy birthday. Have a great time. Be very careful. It's a very interesting day too, other than Halloween. But I will say this while she's getting the cards for you, you are a water sign with an air number. So that means emotions and logic, intuitions and reasoning. So it makes for an interesting combination. Not only that, but you'll be in a 5 personal year, which means you're ready to make some changes. So so think of one as the alpha and then the omega, and dead center is where you're going to be. So it's going to be a time for you to be at a crossroads, so to speak, and make some interesting changes and developments. Your key numbers, by the way, are the 4, 1, and 9, and Sundays and Tuesdays are your best days. All right, there, lady. What do you have for her?
Okay, so this first card that we pull out, everybody loves this card. This is the ring card. I think that's pretty obvious what's happening there. This card represents a commitment. Sometimes it can represent a marriage, a new relationship, anything like that. And it's just an amazing card to have, especially for a single lady or a lady that's dating or even a lady that's married, because what a lot of people don't realize is that sometimes in marriages we have to still court each other, right? So we do have to still have date nights, and we do still have to have, intimacy, and not always physical intimacy, but emotional intimacy, mental intimacy. But that's exactly what this card represents, is just this idea of intimacy and this idea of love, and kind of like, butterflies in the stomach. So that's really great for her, especially since her birthday is coming up. That's a wonderful time to have that feeling and to have that for you. Now, we also have this bear card. The bear card represents hibernation. So this season, even though it's her birthday, so what's going to happen is, according to Moorish science, our lives are in 52-day cycles. And the first 52 days after your birthday is usually when you have the most energy, okay? But for her, even though she'll have a lot of energy, this is going to be a great time for her to retreat and keep that energy for herself. Maybe she's a caregiver or a person who, works really hard, but she just needs some time to rest and to absorb all that intimacy, let that oxytocin, just really relax her body and help her balance. Now, we also have the bouquet. And this
Yeah, that's
card,
it. I like that card.
you like this card? This is
Mhm.
one of my favorite cards too.
Yeah.
It is a card, so it could go one of two ways. It has the 9 on it, so it can mean the ending of a cycle, but as well as the beginning of a cycle, right? Because after the number 9, we go back into the 1. But she should prepare for some endings. These endings are going to be her, for her best good. And it's not going to be anything that she not necessarily doesn't need, but it won't be anything that she will miss after a long period of time. She'll be able to recuperate, she'll be able to get it back, and she may even have better. So, whatever losses she experiences, especially within the year 2025, next year, she just needs to understand that it's for her best and that new is coming, better is coming, and she has nothing to worry about. She just needs to get through it.
All right. Now here we got March the 6th. So to me, hold on, this person is a water sign with an earth number, which means very practical, very reasoning. Well, not reasoning, but practical, and I should say emotional and intuitive. Not only that, but Pisces is a psychic sign anyway. And this person is going to be entering a 9 personal year. When I took March the 3rd, added it to the year coming up 2025. And since 9 is 1 year numbers, it means dreams fulfilled, or at the same time, a time to just say, hey, I need to let this go and that go and not look back. So the year to follow will be fresh start, new beginnings, new opportunities, and everything. But right now, anybody that's kind of a drag on you, it's about letting them go so you can lighten your load and manifest with a purpose. That is the main thing. All righty. What say you about We God March 6th?
Okay, I'm feeling some type of way about We Got, because March 6th is my son's birthday. So that was refreshing. Thank you. And I also love the symbol that they used for their picture, that Kundalini symbol.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful, wonderful, very, very powerful symbol. So we have a few different messages for this person. And the first one is the coffin. And this one has the 8. Okay. This card represents endings, but it's an ending of like self. Okay, so if they have insecurities or baggage, or a whole lot of debt or anything like that, it's going to be a time where it's going to end. It's going to end. And since it has the 8 on it, I wouldn't be surprised if it's this year. I usually use the numbers for timing. And then we also have the crossroads card. This is a card of choices, decisions. Okay, so they're going to have to make some decisions as to what it is that they want. And one thing I've noticed about Pisces, especially March Pisces, especially March 6th Pisces. If they are males, they can be really, really great, companions to females. If they're females, they're really, really great companions to males. Pisces are very fluid and can, really attract the opposite sex as well as the same sex, but they're a very, very magnetic type of person. So what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to start making some decisions, because people are attracted to you, but they might not be attracted to the people, right? And so
Okay.
it's very, very important that they are very, they're using their discernment and they're understanding exactly who they want to be around them, and they start cutting off some dead ends, okay? We also pulled the God card. This is a great card to pull because it represents a supreme being. It represents a person who is very conscious. It represents a person who is of value to the community and to their family. It represents a person who has a lot of different things going for themselves. So I would say to this person to just keep doing what you're doing, cut off your dead ends, all the people that do not serve you well and that take advantage of your energy. As a Pisces, you are a very intuitive person, and sometimes people will be around you just to take advantage of the knowledge that you have that cannot be explained because it's from source. And so they're just going to have to cut some people off, set some boundaries, and then they'll be able to rise even higher, from the level that they are now, which is a very, very high level. I'm very interested in this person, so I'm gonna be looking out for them in the audience on the next few show, Lloyds, because these are some great cards for them.
Good.
So
And in fact, this is Hypnosis with Kendall. In fact, I plan to have it, although she didn't know. I want to have it on my show in November because this week in the holidays, this is when people get depressed. And she
yeah,
is really great at what she does. And her husband is a kind of like a survivalist in terms of things like that. But we're going to have her on. Uh,
she does hypnosis.
yes, she does. And she's good.
Oh wow, did she did
She's
she
very
teach?
good.
Does she have a course?
I don't know whether she teaches, but I know this. She is good at what she does. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm very interested in hypnosis. I think that's my next step, Lloyd, into what I need to be doing. I think that's a great skill to have.
Well, November's right around the corner, so I'll have her on. Now, this is from Cortland Hinton. Good evening, Brother Lloyd and Sister Cali. I appreciate you both. Thank you for the show tonight. Mr. Cortland Hinton, July the 30th of 1966. So while you're spreading the cards, let me talk about him. He's a fire sign with a fire number. At first he attracted older ladies, then he attracted younger ladies. And not only that, but he should be full of energy and whatnot. So let the year of his birth fool you, because with fire signs and fire number, that tells me he should be very, very energetic, all depending on how well he's taking care of his health. But since 3 is ruled by Jupiter, which means the challenges is going to excess, that means if you've been excessive in anything, it could be a minute getting it back together. But if not, this is a good time. By the way, your lucky numbers or important numbers, being a fire sign with a fire number, are always the 3, the 1, and the 4. All righty. So with that, young lady, what say you about his cards?
Okay, so it's interesting you said something about obsession. I can tell you exactly what he's obsessed over. And this card represents the yoni energy or the feminine reproductive system type of energy. Okay, so he may have lived his life being a ladies' man. Okay,
That
and
makes sense.
now
That
you
makes
said,
sense.
what you say?
No, that makes sense.
Yes.
That makes sense for what I know about the number 3. They're natural flirts anyway. I call them organic flirts.
Right. They don't even mean to do it. They do it just to make sure they can still do it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah. And this card actually has a 30 on it. Look at that.
Interesting.
Look at that.
Interesting. Can't
Right?
make that up. All right.
Can't
That's
make
good.
that
All
up.
right. Good.
So yeah, so he probably spent most of his life being, a ladies' man, into the ladies, not in a bad way, but now it's probably time for him to really just conserve his energy and to really focus on self-love. Now we have this key card which actually has 2 3s on it, right? And this card lets him know that he has the key. Anything that he's searching for, anything that he is in need of, he has everything that he needs internally to get it done. And I think sometimes we often, like, look for different reasons and look for different things to let us know if we're going right or wrong. And sometimes we just have to go within. And so I think that this is a time that he needs to really just go within, not so much focus on other people and giving, because a lot of times threes will flirt with people just to give people satisfaction. And he needs to step into a space of giving satisfaction to himself and doing things that he wants to do, maybe things that he always thought were taboo or thought, could not be completed. But this is going to be a great, great time for him to just go within and do things that he wanted to do, no matter how weird it may be. And no matter how, taboo it may be, it's just time for him to be himself, to just be himself.
All right, that's all he can ask. And he says, always love your guests and yourself, Dip. And he said, thanks for the information that was provided. Now,
Absolutely.
what about Pamela Terry? She is one of our regulars. She is a number 3, but she's born on the 12th of June.
Mhm. Ooh,
Okay. And
okay.
so while you're doing that, I'll say this. Whoops, get this together here. There we go. She is a Gemini 3 person, which means she's an air sign with a fire number. And so, since air and fire stimulates each other, she's probably always active on the go. And although she's born in the year 55, she doesn't look it. She could say she's born in the year 66 or close to the 70s or whatever the case is with no problems at all. But it tells me she's very ambitious, always try to be conscientious. Sometimes threes can be a little dictatorial, but not in a
Mm.
bad way. But if they do their job and I do my job, they have no problems. But if I'm thinking I'm going to have her carry my weight and her weight too, she's not having it. That much I know for sure. So anyway, what say you about her?
Okay, so a few things. She also got the crossroads, which seems to be a common theme tonight. So she has some things that she's going to have to decide on as well. She has some things that she's going to have to get right. All right. She also has, for I believe this is going to be not this year, not next year, but the year after, when we go into the 1 year, she's going to have some endings. Okay. She's going to have either, ending relationships, ending a job, ending a current residence or something like that. But in 2 years, she's going to have to get rid of a lot of different things. And it's actually very interesting, because when people get this card, I always advise them that sometimes we carry loads that are just not supposed to be ours, right? We carry bags that just aren't supposed to be ours. For example, for a long time, I always felt like I had to be like the savior of my family, right? That I had to be this great big millionaire so that everybody could come to my house for Thanksgiving and eat and spend a night if they wanted to, stuff like that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then as I got older, I realized that, like, people will, you invite them for Thanksgiving and then they be there till,
Christmas.
Easter. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
you know what I mean? So
But you know
she has
what's so interesting though, in 2 years, that person will actually be in the year, numerically speaking, the year you just described, which I
really.
think is amazing. Yes.
Oh yeah,
That
that's
would be then
interesting.
it will start in the fall of 2025 going into 2026 when they enter a one personal year, which means
Wow.
we
And
begin
okay, so
two
yeah,
years
so
from now.
this,
So you're right on point. And
yeah, this
there's a
card has
10,
a
which is
10
a
on it.
1. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
with new beginnings, new directions,
Yep.
new opportunities.
Yep. Yep. This is amazing. Okay, so I'm digging this, Lloyd. I didn't know it was going. I didn't know everything was going to match up like this, but this is great. I'm excited. This is amazing.
But
That
you know what it shows you? It shows you the relationship that no matter whether you use, whether cowrie shells,
Yeah.
whatever, using astrology, there will be
Mhm.
some format. But when you, and don't forget, you didn't know what I'm thinking. I'm looking at the numbers and you're saying in 2 years. And I'm
Yeah.
saying, okay, that would be 25, 26, and they will be in a one cycle, which is new beginnings. Now,
Yeah.
this is a brother from across the pond. Chikwezi, I hope I'm saying your name. Chikwezi, I hope I'm saying it properly. But anyway, he is born on the 12th of September of 1978. All righty.
Okay.
So that tells me he is an earth sign with a fire number, which means very pragmatic yet passionate. very much into realism, but yet very proactive about the things he does. And just a person that likes to be on the go, very youthful in their energies, and very expressive in terms of the arts or whatever the case is, like that. Their lucky numbers, by the way, are the 3, 6, and 5, and their best days are always on a Thursday, followed by a Friday, followed by Wednesday. So let's see what she has to say for you, sir.
Okay, so we have a few things that I would like to note for this young man. And one of the first ones, this is okay. So is this card can represent a woman who maybe does not have the best interest. A woman who is almost like her own worst enemy, right? And the crazy thing about these women, Lloyd, is that they are usually drop dead gorgeous, right? They got it going on. They're driving the latest. They got on the latest. And inside, they are like almost self destructing or decaying. And so, because we pulled this card, I think that this represents an energy that might be around him. It could be in the form of a partner or a friend or a family member, but eventually they are going to see that woman for who she is, and they're going to realize how broken that she is, and the fact that she's broken is actually affecting his life. And so it's very, very important that we got this clouds card, right? This card comes from when people are in denial about what's going on around them, and they just try to remain super optimistic. Like, it's like, okay, no, there's no way that could happen. And because he's born in September, he's a Virgo, he's an earth sign. Virgos are generally, we always try to think the best of people, and we forget that even though the earth is abundant and balanced and neutral, there are other energies and entities around us that can be not so neutral and be more towards a negative side or more towards a dark side. And sometimes we have to be literally pulled out of the cloud and use our eyes, and not even necessarily our eyes that we see with, but our third eye. That's the third eye in the middle, and actually seeing things for what they are and not what we think they're supposed to be. So he has some waking up to do and some realization to do about the people, or specifically about the women that are around him. And she might even be a Scorpio. I'm gonna go ahead and just put that out there because my intuition is telling me that she has a Scorpion type energy. So her birthday could be coming up, and she could be at the height of her energy right now, and so she could literally be draining him the most right now. And so I'm glad that he was able to come through and hear that message, because I'll tell anybody, especially earth signs males, that they have to be very, very careful of the women that they choose to be with, because being an earth sign, people are going to always take advantage of how much that you care, right, as an earth sign.
Interesting, interesting. Listen, what about a person who didn't give a birthday but leave a name?
That's perfect. That's fine.
Okay, I'm going to pull this person up. This is Kimberly. I do know her birthday. She's August the 22nd, which means she's a fire sign with an air number. That means reasoning and motivation. It means power and, passion and logistics and things of that nature. What does that say for this particular person, Kimberly, here?
Okay, so the first card that we pulled is the Star card. Now, this is a card that's all about direction. So, any ambition that she gets, any ideas that she has, anything that she's trying to pull together, she really wants to make sure that she gets it done. Like, she can't really, wait for the perfect time or wait for the perfect partner. She has to go ahead and just start getting things done and just rely on her internal compass to guide her to where she needs to be. We also pulled the Tower card. Now, this is not like the Tower card in tarot. This card actually can mean isolation. This can mean that she's been spending time harboring and learning and just like hoarding information and hoarding ideas and hoarding creations. And she's just waiting for the perfect time to release them. But the time is now. Like, ahora, like right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Mm-hmm.
she needs to just really let go of the idea that everything has to be perfect in order for it to be released, and just allow it to be organic, and understand that, you know, every book has a new edition, right? And that she can always alter things as she, you know, launches it, but she has to launch things. She's sitting, if I could say, she's sitting on about, you know, six figures of information, of programs, or of products that she just needs to go ahead and let go and release into the world.
I think that is a good description. I've got actually two more, but I'm going to do this one here. This is Sister Mayad. She is a regular. She is born September the 13th. She had a birthday last month, and being a Virgo 4 person means practical, yet logistical in her assessment, and yet very odd and unusual in her approach. So, what say you about her?
Ooh, okay. My aunt. So just one card came out for her, and I think it's a wonderful card. This is the Clover card. This is all about luck. This is all about growth. This is all about, you know, coincidences, or not even coincidences, but alignments. So because she's carrying the name Ma'at, very, very powerful name. And there's so many different things that she will have access to, just because she has a very balanced energy to herself. And even the card has the number 2 on it. And Ma'at is all about balance, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
she has a great year approaching, and she just needs to stay optimistic, and to understand that life is not just always about what you know or who you know. Sometimes it's all about alignment. Sometimes it is about luck, and sometimes luck can be the very, very thing to get you through the door and to get things done for you, especially as a earth sign, right? Anything to do with luck is always in favor of the earth, because we're on earth, right? So earth signs are always going to be, I like to call them like the first child, right? of the
Yeah.
zodiac, because
Hmm.
we literally we're on earth. So they have the most favor in a lot of different situations. Sometimes they don't even know it, you know.
Good, good. What about, first of all, thank you very much, Latifa, for the donation. She is born April the 21st. Now, she is a borderline case that has nothing to do with her mental stability. In other words, it all depends on the year and the location. She could either be representing the last day of Aries or the very first day of Taurus.
Taurus. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I think when I met Luther Vandross, who was born on the 20th of April, he was a Aries, I think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then
That's correct.
a Taurus. Yes. So
Mm-hmm.
I would say she's probably a Taurus. But that means she's a fire sign with an earth number, which means, excuse me, she's an earth sign with a fire number, which means very, very pragmatic and in her own way, the kind of person that would like to express herself, be very articulate at the moment. And the fact that this year coming up for her, well, this year she's been in has been a year where she's either made some adjustments, going back to school, deepening a relationship, or separating in a relationship. But it indicates for next year she's going to be going through, I call it the cycle of the law of attraction, or spirituality, or just really trying to find out who she is and what she is about. So, what does the card say?
Okay, so we got 2 cards. All right, so we got the moon card, and this is a card. So it's funny because I love people that are on the cusp like that. And I always tell them that they are like superhumans. They're like mutants, right? Because they can have the attributes of the zodiac before them, and the zodiac, you know, that they actually fall into.
Mm-hmm.
So it, you know, it's kind of like an Aries Taurus mix, which is crazy if you think about it, because that's like a whole lot of, you know, like forceful energy. But it's very, very important that this particular person really take a cool route, you know what I mean, and really learn how to mellow out, and not to be so quick, okay, and just to be a little bit more patient, and to be a little bit more calm, and to just allow things to unfold. Because this person could, because they're on that cusp, they could be very, 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 very quick to make decisions. And they can also, we pull this birds card, and this card is all about gossiping. Okay, this is a gossiper card. So
Mm.
this
Hold it.
person
Can we
might.
put that closer to the screen so we can take a look at that one?
I'm
That's
sorry.
interesting. That's
Yeah,
interesting. You know,
yeah.
and
This
it's three because to the negative three rules gossips and scandals.
really.
Yes, it does.
And then there's a three at the top. It's the one and the two.
Yeah, well, that's 12. That's called the victim or the
Mhm.
sacrifice for the plans and intrigues of others.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting.
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
that's super interesting. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that card is all about gossip. And there's a difference between being a gossiper and being a person who enjoys communicating. Gossiping is when you tell people secrets, that maybe you're not supposed to know, or things that and people told you in confidence. But it can mean that they are a gossiper or could be a victim of gossip. And it's very, very important that they find amulets and herbs and things like that to protect themselves from gossip, because gossip can be very, 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 dangerous to people that gossip and to people that are on the receiving end of it. Gossip has started wars. So it's very, very important.
You were right about that one.
You know what I mean? It's very, very important that they learn to kind of reject hearsay and to really like try to hear it from the horse's mouth. And it all will also bring a more cool energy to them, especially if they decide just to avoid people, talking about people altogether. That might be something that they just not give into at this moment, especially like within Scorpio season when there's all this loss going around. You know how some people get on the phone line and be like, hey, girl, let me tell you about, Shakita, she lost her man, her job, her car, all in a week. You
All
know,
in the business.
all in a week. So she wants to avoid those kinds of conversations. So when people call and be like, let me tell you, be like, no, let you tell somebody else. Call me later. You know what I mean? When you got something else to say.
Okay, good. I got another person, Taylor B. That's August the 20th. They would be a fire sign with a water number. So that means passionate yet sensitive, proactive yet intuitive. They would exhibit both qualities. So it all depends on how things are going. That's interesting. That card, I think that card we read before, isn't that card number 30?
That is, yes.
Okay, good enough. And because next year they will be going through let me see, they will be going through a one personal year, new
Mm,
beginnings, new directions, new opportunities, and things like that. So, what does the card say for Taylor BTV?
okay. 820, is that Leo?
Yes, it is all day
Okay.
long.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay. So this makes sense. So of course we pulled the God card for it. It doesn't surprise me that we pulled the God card for Leo, because Leos are very, I don't want to say, so you know how Leo is right before Virgo? It's my theory that Leo men are or the energy of Leo, because it is a masculine energy, is basically the companion to the Virgo, right? It almost makes a couple, because it's a feminine energy and it's a masculine energy. But I always consider Leos to be like the fathers of the earth. Okay. And it's only because if you look at the activities of the lion, they spend a lot of their time roaming, they spend a lot of their time laying down, they spend a lot of their time just sun gazing and things of that nature. But Leos have a very, very powerful energy, very stern, as long as they're using it correctly, very stern, very charismatic, very magnetic. And it's very, very important that he doesn't waste this ashe, all this good energy, on just giving good love to the ladies. Okay. He needs to also use this ashe to get some things done,
Now,
right?
this is a woman. This is a woman.
Oh, this is a woman? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, she need not give her ashe to the men. She need not give her ashe to the men. She needs to she needs to really. And what's so interesting to me, Lloyd, like, even though a woman, women, if you think about the lionesses of the pride, right? They do more work than the male lions do.
They certainly do. They
You know what I
certainly
mean?
do. Yes, they
Yeah.
certainly do.
So yeah. So
The
Leo,
male line
Leo.
just struts his stuff. Okay.
That's right. That's right. That's right. It's still they're still both very very powerful energies. Whether it's a female Leo or a male Leo, but a huge problem that Leos always have is just using their ashe to only attract partners, and they're not using their charismatic personalities and things like that to get things done in the world. They only use it for personal relationships. But she has to understand how to use that charismatic and that magnetism and that love in professional relationships, because professional relationships require love. They require love to bloom. They require attention. They
Sure.
require some,
Sure.
you know what I mean? Some people invest more in their in their professional relationships than they do in their personal relationships.
So in other
So
words, she needs to strike a balance. That's what you're saying.
she needs to strike balance. She needs to strike balance. She's giving away too much love in her personal life and not giving enough love in her professional life. She's not focused. She's just not focused. She's not focused. And it happens to us all. It happens to us all. And then sometimes we just have to be tapped on the shoulder and be like, hey, you gotta get things together before, because I think, and that's another thing I've noticed about Leos, is that they can lose themselves in their partners, right? They can become so dependent on their partners that they forget who they are. And it's very important that she, continues, if that is the state that she's in, that she wakes up and gets back to it, because things can happen, things can change, and it's very very important that we always, self-preservation is the first law of nature always. Partners are cool, marriages is cool, all of that's cool, but you always have to preserve yourself first.
Now there are three people that have made donations of a sizable nature. This is Nakisha, Nasika. I hope I'm saying it right, Nasika, and she is born on May the 13th. And thank you so much for the donations. The next will be Katrina Johnson, and next will be Mr. Chill. They made sizable donations, and so I want to make sure they're not overlooked. So in this case, this person is an earth sign with an air number. Love to be different, love to be unconventional. In fact, this person carries the same configuration as 19 Keys, the famous person that's out there out of California, which is an air sign, an earth sign with an air number. But that means they bring a whole unique twist to their situation. But her numbers are the 4, 1, and 5. So what does the cards have to say about this particular person?
Okay, so I got to get out a new deck, because and this is a cool little neat trick for people who, if you have some professionals who are watching, who do readings. If you find that you're doing something like this, where you're doing multiple readings and you keep seeing the same cards come up, expire the deck, put it to the side, and then you want to use some type of cleansing. This is sage, and this is a brass sound bowl. And so I'll put the cards here so that the energy of the people that we read before can be clear, because we were getting some of the same, as I was shuffling.
Yeah, I noticed a couple of cards came up.
Yeah, some of the same cards. So yeah, we're on a new deck. Now this deck is herbs, so it is going to require a little bit more of my interpretation, but I do recommend that whatever herbs come up, that these people invest in them and try to use them to get them out of whatever situation we are speaking about. So the two herbs that came up are cayenne and hawthornberry, okay, or hawthornberry, sorry. And cayenne is a very great herb for movement. I always recommend cayenne to people who maybe have arthritis or pain or anything like that, any stagnation. But it's a fire. It's a very fiery herb. So this person needs to allow for energy to come into their life, right? They need to try to find something that gives them purpose. Try to find something that gives them movement. Ever since the 2020, a lot of us have become accustomed to, working in our homes, getting our groceries delivered to our homes, getting our, laundry delivered to our homes. And some of us aren't moving as much as we need to. And a lot of people don't understand is that a body in motion stays in motion. So this person needs to make a point to move around more because they just need more movement. Now, hawthorn berry is a herb that deals with love and companionship. Okay. So if this person is feeling down and feeling alone, then it's very, very important that they seek companionship. It doesn't necessarily have to be a partner or husband or anything like that. It could just be a great friend, but it'll also help them to go outside, because sometimes, like me personally, sometimes I don't like to go outside alone, and but I also don't have anyone to call. But if you don't go outside, then you'll never have no one to call. You know what I mean? So
Sure,
this
sure.
person just has to start getting things moving so that they can bring back, movement literally back into their lives. They're doing a lot of sitting down. They're not moving enough. And it may also be affecting their mental health.
Now, this one is from Katrina Johnson. Greetings. Any insight you can provide for her is greatly appreciated. Her birthday is May the 10th. Interesting, another Taurus back to back. Well,
Perfect.
she is, where the first one was a earth sign with an air number, this is an earth sign with a fire number. So that brings it a whole different ball game. Fire brings with it heat, intensity, energy, conviction, a proactive attitude, a desire to break new ground and things of that nature. Although I would say that with her being a fixed sign, and a 1 to a degree is a fixed number because it rules the sign of Leo, which is a fixed sign, I would say that this person, once they set their goals and intentions, they would be very, very hard to stop. Their key numbers, by the way, are the 1, 4, and 9, and Sundays and Tuesdays are their best days.
Okay. So this person's energy was amazing. As I started shuffling the deck, the whole deck just fell out of my hands and flew all over the floor. So this
Yeah, that
person,
would be about right too. Yeah.
yeah, this person has a great energy about them. So one of the first herbs that came up is actually an herb that I was just using called bearberry, and it's actually an herb that can be used for infections. It can be used for any infection of the urinary tract, things like that, and it really helps with antibiotics from the doctors. Is a good companion. But that card came up, which lets me know that this person may have some things going on with themselves that are causing them to kind of decay. And I especially know it has to possibly do with maybe they've lost a loved one recently, because we pulled the St. John's wort or herb, and St. John's wort is an herb that is really used for the mind, right? And it
Interesting.
actually,
Interesting.
yes, St. John's wort is used. It's actually recommended that if you are on any type of antidepressants or anything like that, that you don't take St. John's wort, because it doesn't, it just doesn't do well. But this herb is very, very good for lucid dreaming. And a lot of times the best way to connect with your ancestors is through lucid dreaming. The other herb that we have suggests that this person needs more nutrition in their life. So maybe shifting their diet to eating more whole and live foods, more root vegetables and things like that, because it could be literally, a lot of people don't understand that, eating foods that are low in nutrition not only, can make you gain weight, but they can also slow brain function. So it's very, very important that she's eating, or this person, excuse me, I'm not sure of the gender, but they want to make sure that they are just taking care of themselves and not, wallowing in loss, because that's exactly what these cards can represent. Just, being lost and always sleeping and looking for their answers in their dreams, which I'm guilty of that too. I do that a lot too. Like when I'm very stressed, I like to sleep a lot to try to see what answers come in the dreams, but you can't do that because this is the world of the living. So you got to
Yeah,
be up.
yeah. Well, this is from Mr. Chill. They're born on June the 9th. They have a Scorpio rising, a Sagittarius moon in the 11th degree. So that's interesting. They are an air sign with a fire number. It indicates, when I see this combination, a person normally that does not taking orders, that sits well. It's interesting. They're born in 1998. So when you put 9 plus 1998, that's 3 nines, and he donated 999 3 times. So his key numbers are the 9, 6, and 5, and his best days are Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. So what say you about his cards?
Okay, so we got 3 cards for him. These are all very interesting herbs. So we got California poppy, we got Damiana, and we have echinacea. These are all very, very common herbs. Damiana is really an herb for people usually use it for let me say this. I want to be gentle how I say this. They usually use it to increase libido and increase, love in between partners and things like that. There's actually a liqueur that's made in Mexico that is made from the root. Very, very, very popular drink, but it is a drink of vitality and it brings life into
And
people.
what
So
is that card again? That's that middle card you were talking about,
yes,
right?
this is the one. This is Damiana.
Damiana. Okay. Oh, and I
Damiana.
noticed the way the hands are placed too.
Yeah, yeah. You see that?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Good
Yeah,
enough.
isn't that amazing? Yeah. And then the other one, California poppy. Now, California poppy is in the opium family. Actually, it's very interesting. And this card is usually when it comes up, if you can see in it, there's a crystal ball,
Yeah,
right?
with two
Just like the
hands
one I
holding
have
it
here.
again. There are two hands in both cards.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep, just like the one I have here. And what a lot of people don't understand about crystal balls is that the only thing that they represent is clarity. Okay, so this person may need some clarity, and the way that they may need to seek it, I'm gonna flip it. Then they're not even gonna know that I was gonna say this. They may need to take a vow of abstinence, you know what I mean, and take some time, and just take some time to not be active in that way, even even if they're just dating. But sometimes we I don't want to say overdo things, but sometimes, especially in these times when relationships are so hard, and because we have, like, there's just more options, right? There's more options. uh, Things are just changing, and people are not, as willing to get along with each other. And sometimes we over try to get along with people, and sometimes it's best to just retreat, go into self, and to really make sure that you are clear with your intentions, clear on who you want. Don't settle. And also, don't make the physical aspect of the relationship the majority of the relationship. A lot of people are in relationships with people that they only get along with physically and may not get along with mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. So because we got all these cards, that's what I'm thinking, that this person needs to really understand what it is that they want out of their relationships, their personal relationships. And if they're not in any personal relationships, it's time for them to get into that. Maybe make a list of the things that they would like from a person, and also make a list of the things that they're willing to do for a person, so that they have clarity on what it is that they have to offer within the realms of relationship. A lot of relationship stuff coming up, but we're in Scorpio seasons, and Scorpio season has a lot to do with our relationships with others. So I'm not surprised that all of these relationship readings are coming up, but I'm excited for everybody to figure some things out
Okay, now
together.
I have a couple of more. Some people chimed in. So this would be the
Mhm.
last of it. This is Shauna, who is October the 15th. Okay.
Mhm.
And so she is an air sign with an earth number. And so that means her most important numbers are the 6, 3, and 9. And it indicates people who are normally very creative, very artistic. It's very interesting that she is in a cycle this year where, or I should say, going into, well, for this year, there still remains. She is in a 6th personal year, which matches her sign of Libra, which is ruled by the 6th, that matches her 15th date of the month, and 1 + 5 is 6. So a lot of things have been aligned with her. So whether it was school, relationships, makeups, breakups, relationships, pregnancies, news, and these things, all of these things have definitely been in the cards for her. But her key numbers are the 6, followed by the 9. 6, 3, and 9 would be best her numbers. Okay. So what say you about her?
Okay, so I switched decks again. This is a crystal deck that I like to use to give recommendations for crystals, and it's also a very, very great way just to incorporate, different types of holistic healing. The first crystal that we got for her, which I think is the most important, is the Kambaba jasper, or any kind of jasper really, but jasper is all about mutating, okay, and it's all about adaptability. So I definitely agree with you that things are going to be changing, you know, in her cycles, but it's important that she continues to be adaptable and also just relying on herself, her spirit, and just moving forward.
Okay, good. Now this person here, they didn't leave a birthday, but they left a nice size donation. So I says, okay, well, let me look at their name, numerically speaking, and you lay out two cards. First of all, the name Lawrence under the Chaldean system adds up to 30, which denotes mental superiority, which means a big thinker. It also tells me that his mom or dad could have either been a Pisces or Sagittarius, or born on the 3rd, 12th, 21st, or 30th of the month. When I did Matthew spelled with one T rather against two, that adds the 27. So that means he come out of a family where they could have a career in law enforcement, military, construction, things like that. The Matthew family is spelled this way, are all fighters. So when I put this combination together, this is a very challenging person to deal with. When I say that, do not try to get in their way. They got a lot of fives. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fives. So that means multifaceted, multi-talented, multi-dimensional, like their own space. So I would tell anybody dating this person, the secret to holding on to them is to let them go. So that's what I see. So since I'm seeing this combination, I would say 3, 9, and 6 would be their best numbers. Okay. All righty. So what did you say for Lawrence?
Okay, so for Lawrence, we got the tiger eye, the tiger's eye. Okay, very, very great stone for confidence. So I would say that the only thing that they need to work on, especially next year going into 2025, is their confidence and how they walk into rooms, especially rooms that can potentially change their lives. But they have to walk, they got to walk the walk and talk the talk. Sometimes just talking is not enough. People are persuaded by your aura and, you know, and your presence. So that's the only thing that I would say for Mr. Matthews.
Okay, good. And I have this lady here, and there's only two more that made small donations, but I want to make sure they get theirs in. They are August the 29th, which makes them a Virgo 2 person, Michael Jackson's birthday. In fact, I'm going to have a guest on in December featuring all the things about Michael Jackson that was actually a musical, artistic genius in his own way. So what say you about her?
Okay, so I'm actually going to, it's so funny, Lloyd, that you had mentioned that we can use Corey shells for divination. I actually wanted to give one lucky person a reading using bones, and they're generally called bone readings, right? We have bones here. And so I was like, you know, I'm going to pull it out. And for some reason, her energy is just like, pull it out. So I'm going to go ahead and throw these bones. And then the placement on the mat is going to be our form of divination. Okay, so right off the bat, we have two Corey shells up. That's always a great symbol of abundance. So whatever projects that she's looking into, whatever projects it is that she is, you know, trying to get off the ground, and they have really, really, really great luck. Now I have three different dies here, or dice. I get that grammar confused, excuse me, but I always try to look at the numerology, especially with the colors. So I want to really more pay attention to this red die with the number 6 on it. Okay, so 6 is always, even though it's not necessarily one of the best numbers, to me it's a number of changes and you know, transformation, especially since all you got to do is flip it upside down and it has a whole new energy, right? It's 9. So I really think that she should focus on changing the game. Whatever it is that she's doing, if she's used to doing something a certain way, introduce some new things into your life and just figure out the best way for you to move. Now, this is one of my favorite symbols. All of these items are symbolic. This is a pretty nice sized bullet here. And this bullet represents movement. Okay, this bullet represents movement, and it was facing northeast. Okay, and so if she's thinking about moving, or she's thinking about relocating, or if she's thinking about getting a new job or anything that's in the northwest direction of town or in the northwest direction of the United States or anything like that. If she's thinking about moving north, I'm not sorry, no, not northwest, northeast is her best bet for, and then east is also really a great direction for luck, abundance, and all of those things. They actually say that, waterfalls and things like that in the home should be, pointing east. So very, very, very positive energy, very great layout, nothing too scattered, everything together. She's a great, great, great candidate for this type of reading because I see that she has a lot of organization within her life. But sometimes you got to shake it up. Now, you can't, be so organized that you forget to have fun and enjoy, right? So that's the only thing I would say for her.
All right. And there's too much that I have to acknowledge this person here. They are 11-5. So they're in their Scorpio season now, were born in 1968. And so this year they're heading, that is for 2025, they'll be heading into a 7 personal year. But right now they're in a 6, which means it is good for matters that deals with the home and family and adjustments and things of that nature. So what say you with that card?
All right, so we have the Herkimer diamond, which is a fool's diamond. Okay, so for this person, especially towards their birthday season or in their birthday season, I think it's very important that they remember to not be fooled. Okay, birthday seasons come around, people come around that want to talk to you and say that they miss you and stuff like that. They don't miss you. They saw it was your birthday on Facebook or something, and then so they hit you up. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Okay, so don't be fooled by people coming into your realm and you
And
thinking
trying to
that,
be nice, right?
yeah, trying to be nice. Yeah, people love to be nice to you around your birthday. Yeah, no, so that's the only thing that I would say for her. Is that she, keep this person rather, I'm sorry, keep their guard up and to just, continue to use their discernment and understand that, everybody has friends and enemies, whether we know them by name or by face or not. Everybody has friends and enemies.
Now, the last one we want to do is Marlon Parker, and I think I've met my obligations because what I will do, because I don't get a chance to look through everything until after the show, and I say, oh, this person made a donation, whatever, but I want to acknowledge Marlon for what his contribution is, all right? And Marlon, thank you very much, sir. Really, really appreciate that. And so when she's laying out the cards, and by the way, at the bottom of the screen, the ticker is how you get in touch with Cali. Please call up for readings and consultations and things of that nature.
Absolutely, absolutely. So for him, we got Mookhite Jasper. And again, Jasper, we've already talked about it, is transformation, but it's a whole different color Jasper. It has more fire and it has the energy of a 3, right? So it's very, very important that this person understands that change does not always happen quickly and that it's best that they stay patient. They allow certain doors to open and they allow certain doors to close, but allow for processes to take place. Sometimes we, really just want the end result of things and we don't take advantage of how, the process is supposed to be and how we're supposed to really use that time to maybe fix things or to make sure that we're sure about things. But his life this year, the remainder of the year, is going to be all about processes and how he gets through them. And as long as he's patient on the other end, he'll have some good things coming to him. He just has to remain patient.
Okay, well, I will end by saying for Marlon, his name adds up to the master number 22, which means he would normally be a more visionary person with a lot of sensitivity to his nature, a lot of uniqueness, a lot of inventiveness, and more than likely the people around him or whoever may have been a parent named him under the signs of Aquarius or Leo or perhaps Gemini. Let me get this straight. So we're on now. And I didn't mean to keep you on this long, but people was like nonstop. But anyway, instead of the tick, I'm going to put everything up here for her. So Cali Manifestation, Spiritual Advisor. Her contact is 626-421-8470. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
I'm going to say it again because I know somebody's trying to grab a pen. Her number is 421-8470, 626-421-8470. Her email address is readings by Cali, CALI @gmail.com. That's readings by Cali. For her IG is at Earth to Lyric, EARTHTOLYRIC. And that's Earth to Lyrics. And her last one is Cash App. Now, the money don't go for her. It goes for that handsome young man she's got there. I heard him in the background too. I heard you trying to chill about. So, but she's got a great young man. Is he around?
Okay, so yeah,
how old is he now? About 4 or 5 now, right?
Yeah. So he didn't understand what was going on, but once he came in here and saw the lights and stuff like that, he was like, okay, well, let me go because she's busy. And but yeah, he didn't know what was going on. He might have woke up from his nap. It's nap time.
Yeah.
And but yeah, no, he's great. Now this was a great show, but I'm definitely tired. I had to put my glasses on, Lloyd, to kind of because I'm tired. They definitely
it takes a lot of energy to do this. People have no idea the kind of energy it takes to do this, much less on a regular basis. And it was very intense because no goodness knows how many people you read. But I did want to thank you. We did spill over time, but then all of a sudden came these ration donations, and I didn't want them to go responded.
Unnoticed.
So I just wanted to show respect for that. But anyway, bless you. We'll have you back at the beginning of the year to see what assessment you're going to have. Mm-hmm. And I do thank you. But anyway, everybody, please get in touch with Cali. She's a spiritual advisor. Not only that, but she's a wonderful sister. She's a Virgo. Ain't gonna get all in your business. Okay, but her number is 626-421-8470. Don't forget, go to her number and call her or schedule appointments, and there's her email address. But more importantly, give a cash app to her son, $ Earth to Lyric, EARTHTOLYRIC.
Thank you,
my sister. Much love to you. Thank you very, very much. Okay, everybody, I'm going to give her a break so she can go attend her family and attend her family. This is her place where you go. In the meantime, I do want to let you know that the show has been sponsored by. Let me put the banner aside a second. Give props to Whips. There we go. To Nicholas Brooklyn at 1396 Fulton Street in Brooklyn. They celebrated 50 years of service to the community. It is a store that I defy anybody to go in that store and walk out without nothing. I defy you. It's not going to happen. I'm telling you. When I was there this past Sunday, as soon as I walked in, I started getting stuff. That's the kind of energy it is. Also, on the 9th of not this Sunday, but the following Sunday, they're going to have Nkiro in Peru. I've had him on my show talking about precious metals. He will have jewelry, all in silver. The guy is a wonderful human being, an Aries too. So please be there for that. Also, Miss Kimberly, God bless her. She has a Manifest on Purpose show that all of you can see each Monday, Wednesday. She also has weekly wisdom on Sunday. And for those of you, this is a course I signed up that she's going to be teaching. I'm going to be sitting in the front row. And yes, I paid for the course. My students know that's how I support the people that I'm with. It ain't like, can you give me free? It's because you're on the show. I pay for it just like anybody else. That way, when you put skin in the game, you kind of put your best foot forward. So she's going to have on the 1st of January, 2025, a vision board mastery class to manifest on purpose and whatnot. So I've signed up. So please go there to sign up and get yours. Also for Visit Islam, intellectualpowers.net, wonderful supplement. Please, when you click on the QR code, when you order, put in numbers and you will get a discount. And last but not least, my good buddy and astrological colleague, Eric Taylor. We call him Big E, but he is a wonderful human being. And his wife is going to be on the following week. He's going to be on my show January the 1st to kick off the year. All the astrological and the planetary aspects. He's going to break it down. Yes, he talks astrology, but he also knows how to break it down with the layperson, understand what's going on. And exactly a week from there will be his wife, Alana, talking about her wonderful products. So that is it. Oh, by the way, I meant to tell you this. These are some of the things that Cali is offering. $20 readings. Y'all do have her number. I put it up on the screen. And it is a celebration for this year. By the way, the newsletter is not in your hands yet, but this is for October. Well, this will be the one for November. November is ready. It is ready to be broadcast, and it will be aired on November the 1st. I think that's Friday. Yes, it'll be Friday at 7:15 p.m. And for those of you, you'll have the newsletters in your hand very shortly. So I now do the newsletter version and I do the audio version with Miss Kimberly. All righty. So anyway, and I do want to thank all of you for subscribing to my app. It is not perfect yet, but it's getting there. It's getting there. It's little did I know how much time it would take to do that. But everybody, I do appreciate it when you download it. You know, if you like it, give it 5 stars. That's what my developer told me. It affects the algorithm. So I'm going to say he's developing it. So I guess he knows what he's talking about. So please give it 5 stars that affect the algorithm. Okay. So everybody, I do want to thank you very, very much. And I got to thank my beautiful, beautiful colleague today, Cali. And I met her on Instagram. I saw her doing this. She was so into it. I saw her young man and I just said, listen, would you like to be on the show? And good answer was yes. And we've been friends ever since then. So it shows you got to be nice to people, and it don't cost a dime to be nice to people. I don't know why people want to go way off center when it ain't that complicated, okay? Just show some love. And y'all show each other love, and especially love yourself. Have a good day. Bye.